Welcome to Shallow Farm. I am so glad you're with me this morning because I'll tell you what, when we start our day off, it makes a difference. It changes everything. Then when something happens, you don't feel guilty because you didn't do anything about it. You prepared yourself. You encouraged yourself in the Word. You strengthened yourself in the Word. And so when trouble comes, you're able to take that Word and rely upon it and to draw strength from it and know that you can be confident and that you can expect God to work. I want to talk to you today about expecting God to work. No matter what your circumstances is, He is there regardless of what you're going through. And you know what is important is, what are we focusing on? What do we see in the middle of our circumstances? Sometimes we lose our focus on God and we see that something that we are going through and we're facing is bigger than God. Well, that's impossible. There is nothing greater than God. There is nothing too hard for God. There's nothing impossible with God. But that's how we think. That's how we believe. And so I'm going to share the story with you about Peter. And I want to read to you in Matthew 14 because he tells it so beautiful. He says, climbing out of the boat, Peter started walking on the water and came toward Jesus. But when he saw the strength of the storm, he was afraid, and beginning to sink, he cried out, "Lord, save me." Immediately Jesus reached out his hand, caught hold of him, and said to him, "You of little faith, why did you doubt?" Another part of the scriptures in Luke, he recorded it, and Jesus said to them, "Where's your faith?" The disciples were fearful and amazed, asking one another, "Who then is this? He commands even the winds and the waves, and they obey him." Peter was in the middle of the storm, the disciples, and they saw Jesus on the water, and he came and went to Jesus. He got out of the boat and went to Jesus. Now listen, this old girl wouldn't have got out of the boat. This old girl would have been under the boat, inside, safe, because the winds were just everywhere. The waves were high, the lightning, the thundering, the heavy rains. I would have never been on the deck of the boat, but he was, and he stepped out on the water. Now listen, let's give him a pat on the back because he walked on the water. He did what we have never done. And we'll condemn him because we say, "Oh, he sank." Well, let me say this. He walked on the water. He had that much faith to believe. But the thing that I like about the whole story is that Jesus caught his hand and he pulled him up and put him safely back on the boat. That's what happens when we are in the middle of a storm in our life. We get so caught up in it. We worry, we fret, we become so anxious, we become frustrated, disillusioned. We get to the place where we don't even want to pray, we don't even know how to pray, and don't even want to ask anyone to pray for us. And so we get to a place where we get our attention all on the problem, and we forget that Jesus is the solution to our problem. And he does to us what he did to Peter. He grabs our hand and he pulls us up. He doesn't let us sink. He pulls us up. Now listen, the storm may not change, and maybe it will. But I will tell you that he does calm the storm inside us. I heard a minister say, and I've said this before, that they say it's a 5-second rule. Now, whenever you call on Jesus, within 5 seconds, peace comes. And do you know what? If you really think about that, when you call on him, within 5 seconds, it seems like, oh, okay, I can handle this. I'm going to be okay. I don't know how it's going to work. I don't know what's going to happen, but I believe I can handle this. In the Word, it tells us in 2 Corinthians 4:18, "So we do not focus on what is seen, but on what is unseen. For what is seen is temporary, but what is unseen is eternal." So we need to get our eyes on what's going to just fade away, or what's not going to matter in days ahead, or didn't matter anyway. And we're going to keep our eyes on Him, our author and finisher of our faith. He's pleased with us when we trust Him. And so today, I challenge you to keep your eyes on Jesus. He is our deliverer. He does calm the storm. He does take us by the hand and calms the storm within us. So you have a wonderful, blessed day. And remember, this old girl loves you. Share this on my channel, Phyllis Lynn Henson YouTube. And like, share, and subscribe. I want you to also share this video with someone who's going through something, and these devotions that are written every day, that is people that are suffering, people that are hurting, people that need encouragement. You could be the very tool, the very hands of someone that brings somebody out of deep despair. Look, I love you, and I'm praying for you. God bless you.